The National Graduate Showcase, it always is one of the most exciting runways. We see the best designs and the best collections. It's unlike anything else. I think the designers aren't necessarily trying to make something that's ready to wear, so they're really experimental. I think that they're far more willing to take risks. Visually, it's just so beautiful and exciting and refreshing to see something so new.
The beginning of 2020, I started looking at the history of home dressmaking. That was actually before lockdown, but once lockdown hit, it sort of became all the more relevant, I guess. From there, I sort of started looking at objects around my house that are kind of intrinsically tied to the history of home dressmaking. This is a suitcase filled with children's patterns from the 1960s, and it was sort of just, I did have a go at actually making some of the patterns, but I also just sort of liked the materiality and the kind of delicate nature of the pattern pieces themselves and the paper. And that's something that I really wanted to look at emulating through textile manipulation. And then also a collection of Barbie doll clothes from the 1960s that belonged to my mum as a little girl. Just looking at these two objects, I sort of started thinking about materiality and ways of kind of replicating the colours and the textures of these items through fabric. So that's sort of, yeah, where the collection kind of launched from. I was always really keen to apply for the National Graduate Showcase, but I guess considering only 10 students are selected nationwide, I really sort of didn't think I'd have a shot. Like I was really rapt to receive an email saying that I'd been selected. My collection started by looking at the history of home dressmaking. Given what transpired in 2020, it is quite topical and relevant, and I think that's probably why my collection might have stood out to the panellists.
I came to knitwear later in the year, as in, I think it scared me doing an entirely knitted collection on my own. I think I sort of found the passion this year in lockdown. I just threw myself into it because we were all at home, and I just was sitting at the machine for hours on end and just really throwing myself into the practicing and understanding and learning. This is Bessie. She's a 1962 Empasel knitting machine. I love sewing, but I sort of thought, I want to buy a knitting machine. I want to give this a go again because I did it in second year. So I bought Bessie on Facebook Marketplace. When I went to the lady's house, it was just before lockdown started, and she was an old lady and she left it at her front door, and I said, thank you so much, I'm a fashion student and I really wanted to give this a go. She was like, when I was, a few years ago, I used to knit my son's jumpers. It would take me an hour to make a whole jumper on the machine. I was like, wow, that's so amazing, that's so cool. I think the concept hadn't sort of clicked in me that it was such an incredible machine to be able to just make a garment in one go. I actually sent a picture of the collection to the old lady that I bought the knitting machine off, and she was really amazed because I think a lot of people have this association with knitting that it's so old-fashioned. I say, oh yeah, I'm basically my whole collection was knitwear, knitwear. They think just an old lady sitting there knitting with the needles, but yeah, I think it's quite modern, and the fact that I was able to create all of this on one machine sort of thing as well in my bedroom in lockdown. So yeah, for me, the options are endless. The process of my making is quite intuitive. I work on the machine and I start on the machine and I just sort of go from there. It's not just me kind of looking at it, I'm definitely going to make something that looks like that. The best way that I work is just without having an end goal, because it can be so hard if it doesn't meet that end goal. You just think, oh my gosh, I failed. So I think it was important to me to be able to think, especially in the pandemic, on my own without having teachers there helping me and looking at this and bouncing ideas off other students. So it allowed me to, I guess, be really creative in that process and not put too much pressure on myself.
After I made my collection, I experimented with doing different styled photo shoots. This one I actually shot myself because during COVID, obviously, we weren't able to access certain resources. Here, I was looking at collecting a lot of love notes from friends and family and combining that with some visual storytelling of heartbreak and experiences of first love. And this kind of helped me visualize a character that I would dress for my collection, because I can kind of get close to this sense of who would be wearing it, what is she going through, what does she represent. So these images are kind of focusing on a sense of romance and excitement at the beginning phase of a relationship, and then comparing that with the pain of heartbreak and how it can kind of linger and distort your positive memories of someone. My work follows a process of personal introspection. It's almost like writing a journal, but translating that into clothing. Moments are so fleeting, and I want to kind of freeze them in time, and one way of freezing them is by kind of converting them into an outfit that you can actually wear and feel on your body. So it's quite a tactile experience, and for me, memories are so intangible, so I wanted to make them into something that you could touch and feel and kind of relive again.
Really, the collection started with the fabric. So all of the fabrics are hand dyed, and then adding sort of paper-like texture using the hand starching technique. And also the silhouettes, some of them I was kind of looking at particular styles that were in vogue in 1960s. I really like the idea of kind of creating naive, boxy sort of silhouettes that would kind of hang from the body, and kind of, I guess, the naivety of the Barbie doll clothes was something I kind of wanted to emulate. With this show coming up, it'll be really nice to include a number of looks to sort of tell the overall story of the collection.
I think I wanted to design quite a dramatic piece for my fourth year collection. This has I think almost 13 meters of fabric within the dress, and I liked the thought of having this kind of moment that was quite theatrical, and the air kind of catching under the fabric and lifting in the wind. So it was really important the way that this dress was engineered. So I had to make sure the fabric was the right weight so that it would catch and lift under the air. And at the same time, when I was prototyping it, we found that the train would actually create this narrow trail behind it. So in order to fix that issue, I had to add a little chain into the hem of the garment, which is actually a little trick that Chanel uses in a lot of their tweed jackets. And it'll just add a bit of extra weight into the garment so that when it's moving, it splays out and you see the full effect of the printed design.
This one here's been a crowd favourite. This is a long maxi dress, and it's made with a variety of partial knitting techniques on the machine. This garment is made with zero waste, and this machine has 200 needles, and all 200 needles were being used. RMIT had a great focus in their teaching about sustainability and thinking in a like ethical and sustainable manner and way when we're creating fashion. I think that was something I wasn't really aware of before I started studying, and it's imperative. Like, everyone that comes out of this degree is thinking in a more sustainable way, whether it's from where they're sourcing their fabric, how they're printing on their fabric, you know, where they're sourcing their yarn from, where they're, you know, getting garments made. And I think it is part of what sets RMIT apart from anyone else, because we can't just keep contributing to landfill. That's part of every fashion student's mindset, is thinking in a more sustainable way. If I can create less waste and still create my garments, then I'm winning.
I'm here to deliver garments for the graduate showcase. I don't actually know what to expect. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how the garments are kind of interpreted or reinterpreted.
Hello, I've got some work for the National Graduate Showcase. Thank you so much. Thanks, bye.
How do you feel?
Excited, it's done, it's over, and now I can sort of look forward to the showcase and everything. So yeah, exciting.
Thank you.
Sorry, there's quite a lot.
It's okay.
Can you manage?
Yeah, got it.
I feel pretty good. It's weird that I don't have it on me anymore. It's literally a big weight off my shoulders. But yeah, I'm really excited to see all the looks come together. When I was doing my grad year, I had a design for a knitted vest, but I didn't know how I was actually going to create that without the knitting equipment that's necessary. So I got in contact with Interknit here in Ballarat because I wanted to work with someone who was local and kind of support local industry in whatever way that I could.
So I've owned Interknit together with my wife Cassie for the last 16 years. Each year we get a couple of different students saying, oh, can we do these samples, and we look at them and we're like, oh, this is going to be difficult. Each time we do them, we learn some different things. Phoebe's one, we learned some more. So you should probably hold it up. It's your design. So yeah. Phoebe did this design and basically gave it to us, I believe, in a PDF or JPEG, where it's got one design on the front and it's similar on the back, but you can see there's a big white area on the back. So when we were going through in production, the staff always, when they were laying it out, they were always double checking that the big white area was always positioned on the back.
I had my work at Melbourne Fashion Week, and I actually got a few people saying that they'd seen the vest and the scarf on the runway and they would love to buy something like this. And so actually over lockdown, that's when it really took off. And I had a lot of people kind of contacting me through Instagram, just saying, where can I buy the vest? I would love a scarf or whatever. So it kind of felt almost accidental, I hadn't really planned to create my own label just yet. So I felt really lucky that I had the interest and a lot of people in Melbourne supporting me and loving the work that I was doing. Over the lockdown, I would drive my car all around Melbourne and kind of deliver the scarves and the vests to everyone. The experience was really eye-opening. I think uni can sometimes feel like a protected little bubble. This whole process of working with a manufacturer, I got a taste of what the real world is like and how you actually convert a design into something that can be made in larger quantities. It was really exciting seeing people actually wearing my work rather than just on a runway or on a model. I think that's what brings me the most joy, is seeing people live in this clothing, and the designs that I made it carries on into someone's life, and I think that's the really beautiful part of being a designer.
We've got a standard criteria that we all have to judge against. You know, having a unique vision, innovation, high production quality, attention to detail, and the potential to contribute to the growth of the Australian fashion industry. There's so much good work coming through. You can see that they just pour their hearts and souls into it, so it was a tough decision. I wanted to be able to showcase a cross-section of their capabilities as a designer. I wanted to make sure their story was communicated in the pieces I chose. What excited me about Olivia's was she has quite a sexy take on knitwear, which I guess is kind of unexpected. It's not really something you associate knits with. They're simple in order to kind of let the textile speak for itself. And so you can see all the knitting techniques she's utilised as well. So I kind of quite liked that it wasn't all about just construction, it's just about the knitwear itself and the textile itself. With Amy's, her design process was fascinating. I love that it was, like, one of her inspirations was Barbie doll clothes and 60s fashion. Her use of colour is gorgeous. She's obviously technically very gifted as well. So lastly, we've got Phoebe. I really like how she designs from a place of emotion. The emotion she conveys kind of through colour, print and distortion. She's another one of the more conceptual designers. I will be seeing the collections in person next week, which I'm very excited about. So I'll be doing a bit of an inventory and a review just to see what's missing and what needs to be sourced and what needs to be done to have everything runway ready.
We're doing the fittings for our National Graduate Showcase, and we've got Cecile this year who we're really excited to have. And so what Cecile does is she picks which 4 looks from each finalist she wants to work with. Then she has a say in the casting as well. So we've gone with 4 female models and 2 male models this year.
Yeah, it looks delicate. I mean, the actual textile itself is quite strong.
Once she's seen the collections and once she's got a really good idea of which garments she's going to be working with, what the overall kind of creative vision that she has, she then works in what the hair and makeup will be. And obviously this hair and makeup needs to be applicable to every finalist as well. The National Graduate Showcase, it always is one of the most exciting runways because we see the best designs and the best collections. It's unlike anything else. I think the designers aren't necessarily trying to make something that's ready to wear, so they're really experimental. I think that they're far more willing to take risks and really explore all of their concepts and all of the ideas. And so the National Graduate Showcase is their favourite. I think visually it's just so beautiful and exciting and refreshing to see something so new.
Cecile, this is Olivia.
Hi, Cecile. Nice to meet you too. Oh, thank you.
I might steal you later and you can help us with it.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Maybe tie that up a bit. It's harder. It needs to sort of be a bit tighter. Just tie it like this. Just cut it if you need to. Yes, yep. Oh no. Yeah, no, cut it. Okay. I'd basically just like loosen that more because it will naturally roll.
Yeah.
So yeah, it doesn't have to be so tight.
Yes.
Because I think it looks better when it's a bit smaller.
Yeah, absolutely.
I don't know if you want these loose at the back or not, or if you want them tucked in or tied a certain way.
I don't mind them hanging.
Yeah,
You don't
cool.
mind.
Yeah, I don't mind them hanging as well. I think it's nice to see a bit more chest.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You're happy with the amount of silver on the side, or do you want a more dramatic?
Yeah, I think a bit more dramatic could be nice. Yeah, that's much better, I think. Yeah, great.
Keeping the flat seems to be.
Kind of doing it in two sort of sections. So we're doing single shots over the side with a bit of a green screen, and then coming in over here and we're doing not necessarily runway.
Like movement.
Movement, thank you. And every finalist is going to look a little bit different.
Cool.
So you'll have a slight different output each.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cecile's great. She said, you know, like if there's anything that's like bothering me, I'm like, she just go, like I had to go and cut it for her before. I was like, just cut it. She's like, I can't cut it. I'm like, just cut it, it's fine. She's like, you cut it. I'm like, okay.
Nice that you're here to do that.
It is nice, yeah, it's really good. It's so nice to get like fresh eyes as well.
Yeah.
Especially on, you know, different models and different people. This box and then the other garments were in here, so perfect. I absolutely loved it. It was just such an awesome experience. Yeah, so thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's such a great process as well, going through it all, and I'm excited to see the final thing.
We're lucky to have you.
Yeah, thank you.
Incredibly talented.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It's just awesome to be here. Oh, bye everyone. Thank you. Bye. See you later. Bye. Sounds good. Thank you.
Yes, it looks so good. Come on, see. Amazing. Oh my God. You're killing it. Sorry, I'm like poking and prodding at you. Really done. Yeah, I just wanted it to, like, you can see
The elastic?
Yeah, like you can see the pop of green coming through.
Oh, you want to see? Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
Let's have a look at that. Yeah, that's much better. So happy. Oh, they're doing such a good job. smells so good.
It looks so good. Look at this. The colour.
Wow. Oh. I'm happy for you to try some movement and see what happens. You look so amazing. This look, like, the room was amazing.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
How are you feeling?
It's crazy to like see it all together at once. Like I haven't really had the full impact of the whole collection like on 4 models, so
It must be pretty overwhelming.
yeah, it is. Like, and they all did like such a good job like moving it in and everything. So yeah, I'm super like over the moon.
Congratulations. Yeah.
Thanks for having us here today. I'm really glad like I could be part of it all and see it come together. Yeah.
You're so welcome.
Hi, how's it going, Chantal? Thanks.
Welcome back.
Thanks, it's been a while.
I know.
Yeah, it is.
Oh, good. How are you? Olivia, how you going?
Long time no see.
I know.
Yeah.
It's weird, isn't it? I feel like the last time I saw you in person would have been like almost like this time last year.
Crazy. Yeah.
Hey Peter, long time no see.
It's so weird.
I know, it's bizarre, isn't
So
it?
freaking weird.
Oh my god.
Because I haven't seen you in like 2
So
years.
long.
I haven't seen you
So
guys
much
in
of
a year.
you on the computer screen last year, but like never in person. Yeah.
Really weird. Yeah, I'd just like to get a sense from you guys in terms of this sort of versus, you know, like online, the actual experience.
I don't know what my folio would have been like had I have come in, if it had have been more in person. I feel like the folio probably is more resolved because I spent so much time in front of a computer kind of editing and image making.
Yeah.
So I think that there is a lot more in the way of image in the folio.
Yeah, all that formatting.
Yeah, I think so, yeah. I think maybe there wouldn't have been that much of I personally wouldn't have had that much of a focus on it if it had have all been in person.
Just being at home, we weren't using public transport to get to uni, and then like I feel like I actually had so much more time to work on my work because I'm just constantly at home all the time. So I feel like I think I sort of produced more swatches, more stuff, and more selection to like pick from and refine, if that makes sense. Yeah.
My motivation came in waves. So I think it was a really difficult time to be creative. A lot of time spent behind the screen. Have to look at your work so much and reinterpret it all the time and kind of find the best way to present it to someone who's never seen it before, which I think is the biggest challenge because you guys know me, whereas I have to keep reminding myself like these people have never seen my work before.
I'm just gonna close the door.
Where's from, by the way?
Oh, I made this one.
You made that one?
Come on in. This is Josh, by the way.
Yeah, sorry.
She's fine.
It's been rolling around there. So
a speech apparently. It's gonna be hard to do this without getting emotional, actually. I don't know, I feel like I've gone into it a bit about like the heartbreak stuff, but I feel like that's just so far in the past for me now. I know that I don't need anyone, any stupid boy, like when I have people like you. And I'm kind of glad it happened to me in a way, because I wouldn't be able to like create anything that I do without these kinds of experiences. So I'm just glad it happened to me, even though it was like hard at the time. When I do this collection, I kind of like picture my closest friends wearing it. Like I can see all of your beauty in these clothes. So yeah, I hope that I can like dress you all in them. I can't believe I'm doing fashion. Like it's such a dream, like fantasy world, but I just really want to like pursue it. And I feel like there's this fire within me to do it, and I'm not gonna stop. And I'm just gonna see it through. So yeah, there are gonna be like hard points along the way for sure. But yeah, I wouldn't be here without you guys. Thank you so much for being here. And it means the world to me, like, that you're here for me. I know it's just a little runway thing, but... Yeah, let's watch it.
One of three wishes granted, it would be this: to live my life because of what I
Wow. Like how whimsy it is.
I've ever cared to listen. Common sense is a privilege, pride. Take me by the hand, love, hope and hopelessness, hun. When I sink in the sea of love, you're the only one to save a drowning man. Love, hope and hopelessness.
Oh my God, that's it, guys, that's it.
We want to see yours.
What's next for me is definitely just continue to build on my skill set and my passion, and I think that focus that I have on knitwear and I guess the love of it really did take me so far. I feel even throughout my honours year in the pandemic, it was something that really allowed me to, it was something I could hold on to in a world of such uncertainty at the time. So I've been doing quite a bit of commission work for friends, and yeah, I'd just love to start my own knitwear label down the track, and that's what's next for me.
What next for me? I'm really not 100% sure at this point. Sort of avidly applying for jobs for sort of design assistant roles at the moment, and one of my good friends from uni and I are playing around with starting a small women's wear label that'll be made to order. So we've sort of been playing around with that for the last couple of months, really just having fun at this point. So hoping that we'll have something sort of substantial to show and potentially sell by the end of the year. So yeah, that's me.
So I have some very, very exciting news to share. I just found out that I've been accepted into one of the top fashion schools in the whole world, which is Parsons School of Design in New York City. And they've offered me a place on their master's program. And they said they were so impressed by my application that they're actually offering me a scholarship as well to go and study there at the end of this year, which is just absolutely incredible and a total dream come true for me. This means that by the end of the master's program, I'll actually be showing my work at New York Fashion Week, which is just mind-blowing. So I'm in shock and completely over the moon.